All right. Hey, we
People, what's
are
going on, y'all? How y'all doing?
we
Miss
are
Carla, how are
live.
you?
Hello, Mr. Lewis. How are you?
I am doing all right. I am here live on location from Bolson's Locker in North Oakland. Y'all don't come by here because I'm way in the back. Y'all,
uh,
y'all won't be able to see me. Miss Carla, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you, Mr. Lewis?
I'm here. I am done with my work day,
All
and
right.
I am ready to talk. Before we get started, I know we are not covering what we covered on the last show, but I want to say to the men and women of the clergy who heard me last week, who might have been a little perturbed and or offended by what I said,
Oh
I
God.
don't give a damn. I really don't. I don't give a damn. So rest assured that I don't give a damn. I don't care. I don't give a damn if your mama got mad, your wife, your husband, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, all that. I don't care. So I just want to let you know from the bottom of my heart, I really don't care. Now, we are
I don't
here
think
today.
anybody got mad.
I
Everybody
mean,
knows.
hell,
I
look,
don't think nobody got mad. You all
if
right. You all
if they
right.
did, they ain't my cousin, so I don't care. But we are here today to talk about the funeral business.
Yes.
So, Miss Carla, what do you know about the funeral business?
I know a lot about the funeral business. I know you can't live without the funeral business. That is a business that is needed, is going to be around forever. Guess what? Because people are dying daily.
That is right. And to quote the Hall of Fame football player O.J. Simpson, people die every day, and he would know, y'all. He would know. He would know, especially if you make it happen. But anyway, allegedly,
Oh my
allegedly,
God. Hey, Eileen, we have
you
people
know,
coming on saying hello. So please, by all means, say hello so that we could properly greet you as you come in.
hey
All
y'all,
right.
people, and you got to tell me who's on. Um, so I know just in case it's anybody I may know or don't want to know.
Rhonda Jones is on. She said, people die that have never died before.
That's right. That is true.
That's what
That
she
is true.
said
I
right
see
there.
I see her post. People die that have never died before, and I hope they don't die again.
Ah, hey Garrett. Hey Brother Hill. Hey Angela. All
So,
right.
ladies and gentlemen, the purpose of this is to not just touch on the fact that people die every day, but to talk about the importance of the funeral home. And I'm not necessarily speaking on the importance within the community. I'm talking about the importance overall. Listen, there are some people who have never caught a BART train, they've never caught a bus, so they don't need to know the schedule. They have people who shop for them, um, they have planners, etc. It's cliche-ish, but this is a call that you will answer. The question is, what is going to happen? You can wait for your kids or your loved ones that you left behind to take care of your arrangements, whether you have expressed your arrangements or not. But I am here to tell you that that does not always happen. Anytime money and power from the standpoint that I am the next of kin, and we're going to touch on that in a second, or the fact that you have put me in charge of what is to happen, and I have this false sense of bravado and ownership, if you will, then people tend to turn things around or do something other than what they know you have expressed because they can do it, and there's nobody there to stop them. So I want to talk to you all about a pre-need. Pre-needs do not mean that you are putting a hex on yourself and you are going to die any younger than you would have. You still may be 90, 110, or 65 or drop dead right now. The point of a pre-need is to ensure that whatever your wishes are, they are acknowledged, respected, and carried out by whatever entity you choose to go with. And that ranges from a local funeral home here in Oakland, or even someone like the Neptune Society. You want everybody to know, you want people to know what it is you want, and you want it carried out. So the old saying is, if you want something done and it's done right, you got to do it yourself. And the pre-need allows you to do that. It allows you to go to whatever funeral home you choose to go to. It allows you to sit down, go over the general price list with a fine tooth comb, ask the pre-need specialist in front of you any and all questions that you may have. You pick out the plan that you want, be it burial or cremation.
Mm-hmm.
You know the price, aside from like your permit or your death certificate, things that may fluctuate in price, your casket, the charge for the services that we provide at the funeral home. And I say we because I am an employee of a funeral home. Uh, any of those things, casket, they're all locked in. And it doesn't matter if you die 25, 30 years from now, the price is locked in. That is the best way to ensure that your wishes will be carried out. And it cannot be changed. So your son, your daughter, your grandchild, your niece, your nephew, whoever your next of kin is, cannot come in and make changes to that which you have written down, solidified, and most importantly, paid for.
Mm-hmm.
It may seem kind of strange to sit there and uh, do that, but again, you're not going to die sooner because you do it. We're not asking you to write your own obituary or tell us where you're going to die or anything like that. If you are a member of a church and you've been there forever and you want your funeral at the church, you can put that in there. Uh, you can do a whole bunch of stuff. And true enough, it changes over the years. As far as back in the day, you could have them dress you, pick out go pick your outfit out for it. They don't do that anymore. But you can pay for the dressing, the casketing. If you want a viewing, a funeral the next day, where you want to be buried, you can pay for all of that. And rest assured, it's honored. It is the best thing that you can do.
Amen. I agree.
And I'm going to tell you the difference between pre-need and at-need. Now, pre-need, again, is what I was just speaking about. You're not dying, you're not sick, you don't think you're going to be sick, you just go and take care of it. At-need means you need it right now.
Mm-hmm.
And since you need it right now, we, the funeral home, need our money right now. You are not going to bury and or cremate mama or grandmama and you don't have any money. We're not accepting payments after the fact. We'll accept payments forever. Mama and grandmama still have not been cremated. They are still technically above ground, if you will. So, I mean, I understand everybody doesn't live high off the hog and everybody can't, well, they'll say, oh, I can't afford a pre-need. You'd be amazed at what you must pay for a pre-need. It's not as expensive as you believe it may be. I'm not asking you to break the bank. I'm not asking you to foreclose your house, sell your car, sell your kids, etc. I'm asking you to find a local funeral home or a family funeral home that you always, your family frequents, and ask them about a pre-need. It is the best thing you can do. I promise
I totally
you.
agree.
You have anything you would like to
I
add, Miss
totally
Carla?
agree. Well, I mean, that could go right into the importance of having life insurance.
Yes.
The
Yes.
importance of having life insurance because, um, I've noticed lately a lot of people have done the GoFundMe and, you know, help me with this and can you help me with that? But it only takes, for example, my credit union offers life insurance, right? $18 a month.
Mm-hmm.
They take it right out of my account. $18 a month. You spend more, you spend $18 or even more uh eating in one day. So, I mean, it doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Everybody should have life insurance.
Or paying for them eyebrows and eyelashes that are gonna fly away.
Or them braids or them nails, you know.
And
Come on,
that's just the
ladies.
women. I ain't gonna talk about the dudes that wear the fingernails and the
Oh,
braids.
okay.
Hey,
Like I said,
King
ladies
Narcissus.
and gentlemen, there is no excuse not to have life insurance. Okay, we have a question or we have a comment. If you have not, I'm going to show it here. It's from Allison. She says, if you have not met with the mortuary for your arrangements, you should as soon as possible. This is so important. You can make monthly
Monthly.
payments. Please no GoFundMe. Exactly. That is so true. And we had some people to come on. Let me say hello to Dreer, who works at a funeral home down in Los Angeles. My niece Kamisha's on here. We have
Isha.
Tahara Lamb Hodge. We have Brooklyn Nelson. We have Gloria Thomas. And we have Allison on here. And I'm sure there's others, but hello to everyone who have joined us on this evening. But yeah, life insurance, very, very important. Um, Pastor Antoine Miller. If anyone
Yes, sir.
needs life insurance, Pastor Antoine Miller.
Big brother.
Oh, hey Rhonda. Hey Rhonda. Hey Miss Gloria. Okay, and Rhonda works at a funeral home as well.
No, she doesn't.
But we have Pastor Antoine Miller who sells life insurance.
Yes.
We have Miss Sheila Tyson, who is my Facebook friend. She's on Facebook. She's always advertising life insurance. Very, very important. If you can afford the Jordans, if you can afford the beats and the video games and all that type of stuff, you can afford life insurance.
Yeah. And ladies and gentlemen, to Carla's point, with the life insurance, you do not have to make a relative of yours, a friend of yours, anybody you know, a beneficiary. You can make the funeral home the beneficiary. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but if you have picked out what it is you want and you don't trust or you don't want it to be in the hands of a family member, put it in the hands of the funeral home. That way, when you pass away, the family calls, and let's just say it's ABC Insurance. Funeral home calls ABC Insurance. They find out we are the beneficiary, and I say we, the funeral home. They will tell us what the amount is. That amount goes directly to us via check. You don't have to worry about anything. Your family doesn't have to worry about, oh, I wonder if it's going to bounce, if we're going to get paid. None of that. That's between us and the funeral home. All you have to do is grieve, go pick out your clothes, tell us a service date, and we're ready to go. I'm telling you, it is the best thing you can do. And it cuts out all of the other stuff. You get into things being contestable and all that, and maybe we'll discuss that later. But you can pick out a plan that is the best for you. As Miss Carla said, $18 a month. I mean, if you can afford a lot of stuff that costs more than $18 a month. Hell, a BART ride down the street costs $18 a month. Some of y'all going to Warriors games, and hell, to go to the bathroom, it costs more than $18. But I'm telling you, it's the best thing you can do. And yeah, it's a little arduous, and nobody wants to talk about their own demise, especially if they're not getting ready to die. So they think, because as we know, you could die tomorrow or right now, but
we don't know. We don't know. We don't know the day nor the hour when death shall come. So we got to be ready.
Unless you see OJ walking down the street, then you know your ass is next. OJ!
Leave him alone.
Hey, I love OJ. I do. I got his jersey in my closet.
Okay, here's a good point right here. That Mama Gloria said, also make sure the insurance you have is a life policy. Some insurance is not valid if you live longer than 85 years old.
And to Mama Gloria's point, guess what? Some of you are going to live past 85. Some of you who are in your 40s might be 40 right now watching this. You might legitimately have another 60 years on this planet. When I worked at Whitted on 55th and Foothill, there were plenty, and it was more women than men, but there were plenty of women who got their insurance when their husband passed away and he was 70. One lady in particular, she was 70 in, in 1985. 2015, she passed away. Well, she's 105 years old. She literally outkicked her coverage. And it's no fault of her own. I mean, she wasn't supposed to die 20 years before so she could, cash in. But to Mother Gloria's point, please make sure it is a life policy. Not, I'll be dead in 20 years. Just like we don't know if we're going to die tomorrow. You don't know how long you're going to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Life means life.
Get the whole life policy.
Get the whole life policy.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best thing you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you smoking crack doing 90 going north, okay, you might live another 3 years. So you don't have to. But if you are somebody who's doing what you're supposed to, God-fearing, you can spell and all that, yeah, you'll be all right. You'll be around for a while.
Pastor Wheelock said, we got to stop all of these GoFundMe pages for funerals. And that is so true because GoFundMe is going to get a percentage of that.
It sure is.
They're going to get theirs.
Yes.
They're going to get a percentage. So,
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, get that life insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Get the life insurance. It's very, very important. Get the life insurance. And then y'all stop cashing in on Aunt Lula's life insurance, borrowing money against Aunt Lula's life insurance policy, because when Aunt Lula passed, guess what? Y'all done took a loan out on the life insurance policy. She didn't know nothing about it. She didn't know anything about it. And there's nothing to bury. And then you got to cremate her and set up a GoFundMe. It makes no sense.
Right.
Y'all stop doing that.
Stop
doing that. That is not, don't borrow against the life insurance policy of a relative. That is not, I've seen it. I've seen it a few times.
Absolutely.
And it's sad. Y'all stop doing that.
It really is, because, you have there's an old saying, and I know that many of you have heard this, and for those who haven't, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And I know that you have, we want to bury Auntie. Okay. But 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 6 months ago, when you kept taking money out, and again, now we come to the at-need part. When you go to Rolling Hills, and Rolling Hills tells you it's $8,000 to start in their garden, you don't get 6 months to pay that off. You pay it now. I don't care if you have 3, 4, 6, or 1,200 people buried in Rolling Hills. You will not get a hometown discount.
All right, there's a question.
You should have known we're Rolling Hills. We bury every day. Mm-hmm.
There's a question. Recently there has been a lot of unexpected deaths of children. Do you suggest getting life insurance for children? I say yes. I've had insurance for my daughter since she was born. Gerber Life is an awesome insurance, and I'm getting ready to get it for my grandson. But life insurance, they have a wonderful plan for children through Gerber, I know. And then once they hit 21, then it doubles.
Mm-hmm.
Then it doubles. As a matter of fact, as soon as my son hit 21, his plan doubled. Yeah. So when my son was born, I got insurance for him too. Yeah. So yes,
See, Bree is 65 now, so damn,
Oh, Bree gonna get you.
damn. Bree is 65. She'll be 66 in July. So yeah, that's a lot. But I mean, I'm glad. I'm
Yes.
glad that you took care of the old lady.
Yes, that's very important. Pastor Ty Wheelock says, please pay the preacher who does the
Uh-huh.
eulogy.
Pastor, I'm
You
finna
know
go
what?
down the street to the ATM machine. I'll be right back.
They're gonna give him a block of cheese.
Right. Yes.
Like Casey doing.
Take care of the please take care of the pastor. And speaking of paying, and I have to say this. If you don't have insurance and you you feel like you have to do a car wash, GoFundMe, etc., because it's hard times and you want to bury your relative. I completely understand that. I mean, we want to stay away from GoFundMe, but the car wash and the fish fries, I understand that. But I want to say this, and I want to be clear when I'm saying this. If you don't have money, stop getting a damn horse-drawn carriage. Don't do that. Do not
Right.
do that.
Right. We
Because when
don't
you
have
come
no
to the funeral
money.
home and you say that you don't have money,
Right.
but then you pull up with the limo.
The limo van, the
Yeah,
whole
you got the
bus.
limo van and you got the horse-drawn carriage and you trying to go 14 city blocks. Like, you got enough money to get a full couch casket. Come on, y'all. Come on. If
Wow.
you have money to, and I'm listen, I'm not talking about you for doing it. If you have the money to get that, whether you raised it, whether you pulled it out your cookie jar, I don't give a damn if you rob somebody. If you have enough money to do that, you have enough money to pay for insurance. You do. You do. And again, to Pastor Wheelock's point, you can pay for all of that within the insurance. You can make sure that the pastor gets paid, gets his honorarium. If you need musicians, you can make sure that that's paid. If you need somebody to do the funeral itself, Missy Productions, you can make sure that they are paid as well. I'm telling you, there is no bad thing about getting insurance, but don't not have insurance and then come as my man Roland would say, my big brother Roland, you out there flow showing, and you coming up with all these cars and all this and all that, and these brand new outfits and spray painted this and spray painted that and brand new Jordans, and the brother in the casket got a $400 Gucci belt on. Let's get insurance. People are not going to give us, they're not going to give us anything. You're not going to get handouts. Just take care of yourself. That's all I'm asking you to do.
Sonia Beaver says, I love this. Can you talk about the Index Universal Life Policy? It is a great savings invest, especially for kids and millennials for retirement.
Miss Sonia, you're going to have to come on so you can tell us about that one. I am not an insurance agent. I play one on television, but I am not the real life insurance agent.
I can't take it. I can't take it.
But I did sleep at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
Oh my God. Oh my God. And at this time, I do want to stop and say, we called it Funeral Chronicles. Funeral Chronicles is inspired by Pastor Antoine Miller, who started something called Funeral Chronicles. When we all worked together, he would talk about stuff after we've done a service together. He would go live and talk about it. So Funeral Chronicles, that phrase is inspired by Pastor Antoine Miller. I just had to give him a shout out.
Yes.
That was our co-worker for a very long time.
And speaking of stuff that we used to see at funerals, people, do not, under any circumstance, Bring your ass to a funeral home asking where Pookie is. We don't know Pookie. Pookie has a name. Give us the boy's name. If you don't know his name, call the damn family and ask him, what's Pookie's name? Because I know, listen, we all family black folk. I know that we call people nicknames and, as Cedric the Entertainer said, little pistol starter and all that. I listen, I know. Pookie, Ray, and them. I understand. But Pookie is not on anything that we have at the funeral home. You will not open up the guest book and see the name Pookie. You might see Darnell Thomas, Raymond Jackson, but you're not going to see Pookie. You're not going to see Bobo, Lil Joe. You're not. Find out their name. Crystal, Paradise, if that's not her name, please find out their name. Please, because when you call and ask, when is Pookie's funeral? Well, y'all say Pookie's funeral. I don't know. I don't know who the hell Pookie is. Is Pookie a girl? Because there are some girls named Pookie. and speaking of knowing the name, and Carla, don't you laugh. Know who the hell's funeral you showing up to too. Don't sit there and then, oh damn, this the wrong funeral. You ain't know it was the wrong funeral? Like, that's a dude in the casket. The casket is open.
You done signed the book and everything.
You here to see Bessie? Do he look like Bessie? I mean, if he does, hell. But she 86 years old. Who are you here to see? Come on, y'all.
Oh my God. Yeah, we dealt with that. Working together, we did deal with that. Oh, this ain't the funeral? No, that's on Thursday. Oh man, I done got dressed and came down here for nothing.
And if you the girlfriend and not the wife, sit your ass in the back, please. 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 I love y'all. I do. I'm not knocking the hustle. But please. Please. Because you don't run nothing. And speaking of next, and yes, Pastor Wheelock, yes. and speaking of like next of kin, let me turn half serious for a minute. Just because you are a brother or a sister, and you're the oldest one, that does not make you the next of kin. Let me explain something to you. If you have a mother and father and one of your parents passes away, of course, the other parent is the next of kin. If your mother has passed and now your father passes away and it's 4 siblings, lest the other ones come with something like a notarized piece of paper letting us know that they have turned everything over to you as far as being in charge and making arrangements, etc. All of you are equally the next of kin. It doesn't matter if you're the oldest by 2 days, 15 years, or 72 years. All of you are equal. You have to understand that. So you can't come into the funeral home with just one of y'all and be like, well, yeah, I got 3 siblings, but I'm the oldest. Hold on, player. Hold on. We have to talk about that. We can't just make decisions without you, because if they decide to come back in and do something or say something, we have a problem. I want to talk to you single parents out there, especially single parents of minor children. I know that you may not get along with the other parent, and I'm talking more to the single mothers. Not that there aren't fathers who don't have custody of their kids, but you'll see where I'm going with this. So you ladies out there who have custody of the kids, and the father has visitation, and maybe he doesn't always visit like he's supposed to. He gets on your nerves. You cussing him out. I understand. But if that child passes away, you do not get to circumvent his position or her position as the other parent. You can't just tell me, well, yeah, their daddy's in and out sometimes, da 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 da. That doesn't work. That does not work. We need that other parent. I'm telling you this because I have unfortunately had to uh, make arrangements for a child under the age of 18, and the mom is a single mom, and dad is around. He's just not the dad that maybe he should be. And she's quick to tell me, well, he's not around. I mean, he's here and there, but he was never around. I might see him. Okay, but do you know where he is? Well, yeah, I know where he is, but I'm the one that's been taking care of him. Doesn't matter. If he's dead, we need a death certificate. If he's alive and he's around, I need to see him. I need to talk to him. It's not that we can't make arrangements. Well, it is that we can't just make arrangements without him. Now, whether or not he has money or anything, I'm not talking about that. I am saying from a legal standpoint, because if you go to make arrangements and he finds out where his son or daughter is, and he comes in there and he has a problem, he says, listen, I'm that boy's father, I'm that girl's father, we're going to have to stop and we're going to have to listen to him. We would rather get that out of the way in the beginning. Now, you might say, look, I have money, I want to do this. I don't have money, I can't do anything. Okay, fine, then we can proceed. So I'm telling you all this on a serious note because there are rules to this. I know you think, oh, I'm the oldest, or I've been taken care of. It doesn't matter. It absolutely does not matter. Now, if you get, as Miss Sonia Beavers just said, if you get a will and trust for insurance purposes or what have you, at least you have a start. But understand that funeral law is different from outside law. Okay, they're just getting back to the siblings. If you guys want a cremation, or if two want a cremation, and two don't, you're gonna be in an impasse because you have to have the majority. You absolutely have to have the majority. We need 3 or 4 to do that cremation. Burial's a little bit easier because it's still a whole body. But you're talking about a cremation, you're not getting ready to just be like, well, I'm the oldest, we're gonna cremate. That's not the way that works. So I just wanted to let you guys know that.
Yep. And there you have it. Okay, let's see. Angela says, my sister passed some years ago. She was married, but she and her husband were not together, hadn't seen him in years. We had to locate him to release her body. He was somewhere in Florida.
And to Miss Angela's point, and I'm glad, Miss Angela, I'm glad you said that. Spouse. Folks, I do not care if it's your mama, your sister, your brother, and you don't like their spouse. When your loved one expires, if they are married, their spouse is the legal next of kin. What that means is that they have the right to do whatever they want to do. When I was at Whitted, we had a situation where a lady passed and her husband was not the father of her adult children. They hadn't been married long, maybe 5 or 6 years. I didn't meet the decedent, the lady, but I did meet her husband. From what I could tell, he loved his wife, but that's neither here nor there. The children did not like him. Now, he was not one of us. He was a white man. I don't know if that was why they didn't like him, because he was pretty calm. He didn't look like he raised his voice, or anything of that nature. But they didn't like him. And he was well aware of the fact that they didn't like him. So he came in and he made arrangements. He did not want a funeral. He was very clear in what he wanted. And what he wanted was for his wife to be buried in his family plot in Indiana. Now, mind you, Pennsylvania. Mind you, she had never set foot in Pennsylvania. She knew he was from Pennsylvania. I don't know that they had even discussed her passing and what she would do because it was kind of sudden. But he wanted her buried in his family plot in Pennsylvania. Not only that, but he didn't want me to let the children know where she was being laid to rest until she was on a plane. So after them calling and me kind of not giving them the information that they wanted, they happened to call, they happened to come in, they happened to knock on the door. She had already been shipped. He told me, once she's shipped, I don't care what you tell them. She was literally in the air at that time because she had been picked up that morning or the night before. She was to leave at 6 a.m. and they were at my door like 10 or 11. They asked me where their mother was. I explained to them that she was on a flight headed to Pennsylvania, his home state, at a cemetery. She was going to a cemetery where she was going to be laid to rest. They cried, they yelled, they asked me, could he do that? And I said, he is her legal next of kin, and he paid for it. Mm-hmm. He even produced a marriage license. They told me he was the legal next of kin. They told me that was her husband. There's nothing we could do about it. So, baby mamas, I know you get mad at your baby daddy because he might not be shit, and I understand that. But if y'all have a minor child and something happens, you're going to have to go find that ass.
All right. All right.
Carla, if we have a kid together, don't you come looking for me.
What? Man, please. Anyways, you okay. Anyways, let's go. Let's go here now. Let's go here. So, y'all know I do obituaries, right? So one of my pet peeves, right? Me too, Bree. One of my pet peeves is 1,000 pictures, right? 1,000 pictures, and out of the 1,000 pictures, 999 of it is of Lil Pookie and them at prom and all these other places, and the deceased person is nowhere in there. That is a pet peeve of mine. When I did my mother's obituary, every picture in that obituary was my mother, except for the back page was my mother, her husband, her mother, and her father, all in a cloud. But in that obituary was just my mother. Not Lil Pookie them at prom and, none of that. None of that. Because it's to honor the deceased person, right?
Right.
Now, if there's pictures of you with the deceased person, that's different.
Right.
But I've had pictures where it was just somebody at a prom. Okay, where's the deceased person at? Why is this picture in here? I don't get that. But to each his own. I'm just saying that's one of my pet peeves when I do obituaries.
And to your point about obituaries, let me say this. Number one, y'all don't get mad if you're not in the obituary. I promise you, you're gonna be on the cover of one day. So just keep living. You'll be on one. Don't worry about it. I promise you, you're gonna be on one. You don't have to get mad because you wasn't in one. You're gonna get your chance, baby. I promise. Promise. That's number one. Number two, it is called an obituary. It's not an obituary, a obit, whatever the hell y'all call a program, a pamphlet. It is an obituary. Stop coming up to me asking me for obituaries, because I'm about to point y'all to some ladies in the back.
And stop getting mad when the family run out of obituaries, because I was doing a funeral one time and a gentleman said he was going to slap me because I told him there weren't any more obituaries. And I was like, wait, what? He said he was going to slap my face because there were no more obituaries. That's not my fault if the family only got 50 and you wasn't here on time to get one. But we do have a very important question. My sis Christy asks, she says, what about adopted kids? I adopted my niece. Both parents are on drugs. will she still need to find them if something was to happen to her adopted daughter? She adopted her, so no, right? She's the parent, correct?
No, once you if you legally adopted them, you bring the paperwork, and I mean that will stand um, in that regard. I mean, all you have to do, it's just like being married, if you will. I mean, we can all say we're married. Oh, I'm married to Jill. Jill is married to me. But if you bring a marriage license, it kind of just wipes that out. Same thing. If you bring the paperwork that shows you are their legal guardian,
Mm-hmm.
we won't sweat it.
There's an answer right there for you, Chrissy. All right. And another thing that I cannot stand is that when it's time for the 2 minute remark, the 2 minute remark, and you want to get up there and sing, you want to get up there and sing, you want to get up there and talk for 10 minutes and do all that. Uh-uh. Uh-uh. So now some pastors I really admire how they run the services. When it's 2 minutes and your 2 minutes is up, amen, 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 amen. All right, amen. Come on up next. Amen, amen.
Right,
I
right.
love it. I love it. But getting up there singing, well, this was her favorite song, and I know she will want me to sing it, so I'm gonna sing it. Amen.
And they can't sing.
And they can't sing. Or what about the young lady at that funeral we did, and she was trying to sing "Take Me to the King," but she was using her phone for the.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen some people sing so bad that Jesus got up and walked out. He was getting ready to take the person with him, but he's like, "Nah, you stay, you stay here." You. That's when I knew I was going to hell, when he made me sit there and listen to that.
Bishop Valentine, he said, "I will shut you down." Yes, I have been at a funeral where he's done that. Valita says, "Do not begin a sentence with 'we were best friends,' but you haven't seen them in 20 years." Oh my God. Angela says, "If you are not on program, don't do it." Oh my God. Just awful. Just awful. Or they'll say, the preacher will say, all right, you guys, we got to get to the cemetery. So we only want 8 people to come line up over here. 8 people to come line up. And when the 7th person walk up, somebody get up and go get in line. I've seen the pastor say, nope, go sit back down. Go sit back down. I said 8. You should have got up when I called 8. Go sit back down. People get mad, but you got to respect the program. You got to respect, the pastor. You're in his house. You got to respect him too. Or if you're at the funeral home, you got to respect the rules of the house. Straight up. And y'all quit coming to the funeral homes and leaving it filthy. I used to have to clean up behind. I used to have to clean up the funeral home after a service.
Hey.
Nasty. You drink out the water fountain's right here. The garbage can's right here. You drink and put it right here. Why you just won't put it in the trash can? Is that what you do at home?
Yeah. Yeah.
You go to the restroom and you miss the urinal and I've had to clean up. Y'all stop doing that. Quit leaving your nasty tissue papers on the seat. Put them in your bag before you walk out. Yeah. You've been fighting for the funeral programs and then you leave it on the seat. Just too much.
And speaking of that, about back to the obituary. Stop asking for 12 of them. Don't ask me for 12 of them, and the funeral just started. Please don't do that. That's kind of why they go so fast. I'll tell you what I tell a lot of families. When somebody passes away, and as we do, we go over to the house. When you go over to the house, instead of bringing fried chicken, macaroni and cheese, yams, that store-bought cake that you trying to pass off as your own, but you left the damn sticker on the outside of the damn thing. I ain't gonna talk about nobody. Praise God. Why don't you put some money down on the table and say, hey, listen, I might want 15 obituaries, or I know 300 people might show up, at this service. Here's a couple of $100. And why don't you use this for the obituaries so that we can make sure that everybody has one plus some extras. But you're not going to do that. You're going to bring that stale ass chicken that you try to pass off as yours and it's churches. And now everybody got BGs from eating that bullshit.
Oh man, but what about the people, or the people who get up, or other ministers, I'll say that, other ministers who get up to speak and they try to preach, but you got somebody do the eulogy. I was at a funeral one time and the guy got up. I mean, he tore the church up. He was just just speaking on behalf of the pulpit. When the poor guy got up to preach, nobody wanted to listen, because it's like, so yeah, got to stop doing that too.
Larry. Larry.
And when you are not on program to sing, do not sing. That is. And then another one. See, I had to write down some of this stuff because, oh yeah, the funeral's not starting on time. You know how I am. It's 11 o'clock. It's 11 o'clock. Now, we did have an incident one time where we was like, okay, the family's here. We've pimped flowers, but where they at? I don't know if you remember this, but they were outside in the car because the ex-girlfriend was inside, and they was like, we're not coming inside until she is gone. So remember, I took her and her son out the back door, and you brought them through the front door, and I put them in the car to make sure they got away safely, because it was just too much. What is this?
I remember us doing a funeral in East Oakland and driving out to the cemetery, and the family never came.
Oh my God. It was like 2,000 degrees.
Yeah.
And we drove in the hearse with no air conditioning.
Yeah, no air conditioning. I mean, it was hot as hell.
In black.
And we drove to Oakdale.
And nobody showed up.
No family.
Pissed.
No family.
I was
nobody.
Pissed. Nobody from the family showed up. Miss Gloria says, what about when people walk around to view the body? Please don't just stand there too long, please. And be snapping pictures. If the family did not give you permission to snap a picture of their deceased loved one, don't be taking no pictures and then posting it on Facebook.
Right.
What's wrong with you? That is rude.
They up there standing up there like they waiting for Jethro to jump up.
I wish I could make a little device. When somebody walk up and snap that picture, and then when you look at it, it's you there instead of the dead person. I bet you stop taking pictures in, huh?
I just
Please stop taking selfies with people in the casket. Awful. Just crazy. It's just too much. And then, what about this one? Once the funeral is okay, let's see. Valita says, please do not lean in and take a selfie with the body. Exactly. We've seen all of that. But there was another one. Well, there was an incident. The funeral was over, and the family came up and they wanted their loved one. They said they paid a lot of money for that wig, and they wanted that wig back. Remember that, Rasan?
Yeah. Oh.
They wanted the wig back. Let's see. Rhonda Jones says it makes it hard for us trying to get y'all around. That's what Rhonda Jones said. All right.
And family, if you do have escorts, if you do pay for escorts, stop high siding on the freeway when we're trying to get to the cemetery. Please don't do that. Don't. You don't have to ghost ride. You don't have to gas brake dip. Please don't do that. Please. You don't. You're going to end up killing yourself or somebody else. We are literally trying to get to the cemetery in one piece. Just please, please don't do that. Not on 880, not on 580, not on 280, not on 680, not on any 80. Just don't do it. Let's just get there decent and in order. Please,
Mm-hmm.
please.
And Bishop Valentine said, "Can we let the preacher drive behind the family or the hearse going to the cemetery and not cutting him off, please?" That's that's a that's a good one. Got to talk to the funeral homes about that. That would be that's only fair if he's not riding with the funeral
Right,
home.
right,
Yes,
right.
that's good. And then Lita says, "Stop coming to the funeral home after you smoke weed." Well,
Huh?
mentioning that,
Huh?
I picked up a family one time when I was driving the limousine, and they wanted me to stop at the liquor store. "Excuse
Yeah.
me, ma'am, can we stop at the liquor
Yeah.
store?" I said, "No, we can't." "Well, why not?" "Because I said so." "Well, can we smoke in the limo?" "No, no, you cannot smoke in the limo." "Well, why not?" "Because I said so."
If I'm not mistaken, isn't that the one where we switched when we got to the cemetery?
Yes,
You ended up
them
driving the
people.
coach back, and I drove him
Yes,
home.
yes, them people drove me crazy. "No, you cannot smoke in here." "No, I'm not stopping at the corner store.
Right.
I'm not doing that." "Can you turn the music up? Can you turn the music up?" "No, I cannot." Then they start playing the music on their phone
Right.
real loud. That's how I learned a couple of them songs. My kids be laughing at me. Uh, Straight Up to My Face. That's how I learned that song in the limo with them dudes. Straight up to my face. I was like, "This not a bad song, okay." But yeah, waiting outside forever for you to come out. We picking you up at 10 o'clock at 9:45. Don't have me sitting outside till 10:15 and the funeral start at 11.
Right. Right.
Yes. Yes. Don't do that. I don't like that.
Right. And some of that stuff, like, some funeral homes aren't using limos right now, but yeah, we
Right.
really do want to. All jokes aside, we really do want to give you the best service, and in order for us to give you the best service, we have to do things decent and in order, and we want to do them on time. Not because we want to get rid of you. I don't care if you have a 2 or 3 hour funeral, but I want to honor your loved one and show respect to your family. And the best way for me to do that, the best way for me to do my job is if you allow me to do my job during the allotted time.
She said, "I'm no fun." That's why they didn't ride. One of them funerals, they didn't ride back with me from the cemetery
Right,
because yeah, I
right.
don't care. Shoot. Nah, we not stopping at the corner store in Oakland. No, we not doing that.
No,
Nope.
absolutely not.
Y'all not about to smoke up in here.
No,
No.
we're not going. We're not going to Popeyes. I'm not going by
Nope.
your boy's house.
Nope. We ain't doing none of that. We not doing none of that. And then these songs that they be picking to play at the funerals sometimes, the fun police. All right. Yep, that's me. Some of these songs that they be wanting to be played when they marching out. Uh when we marching out, this was can you play Papa Was a Rolling Stone?
Hey, maybe he was.
Like, okay.
And speaking of Rolling Stones, uh, and Papas, brothers, I'm not calling nobody out because I don't know. Nigga, if you got 6 kids cross town and we only know about the 4 you have with your wife, let somebody know before you die so that when you come to our funeral home and you in our care or whoever's care you in, we ain't seeing 10 kids at the funeral home and we only knew you had 4 with your wife. So it's only fair, brothers. It's only fair.
We have a question. Have you ever had to do a wardrobe change? One at the quiet hour and another at the homegoing.
Yes, it's not as customary as it may have once been. I will say, Miss Angela, that usually that is reserved for a dignitary of some type, a la a pastor. My pastor, the late Reverend Dr. Jesse L. Davis Sr., did have two different outfits on. We
You
had
go to church?
yeah,
I'm just playing.
yeah. It's amazing.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It really
Deacon.
is. It really is. It's amazing that I do go to church. I've been trying to get you to go for years, but you know, Lucifer knew the Bible anyway. So you want to play me? Uh,
Oh.
but Miss Angela, yeah, usually that's reserved for Aretha Franklin, who's, by the way, whose funeral is still going on as we speak. Um, that's reserved for like pastors and stuff like that. It doesn't happen as much as it once did. Can they drive back down the block in the hood one last time? I mean, yeah, if they set it up right. If
Bree
they
said, "Don't forget their favorite song." Go ahead and
depends on
say it, Rhonda. What do you need to say, Rhonda? Somebody's on my YouTube saying something crazy. I don't know who these people are, but it's all right. It's all right. All right. And here's another one. Tell people you love them like now.
yes.
Tell people you love them now because you can stand at the casket and say, I love you. I love you. Guess what? They ain't going to say nothing back. They ain't going to say nothing back. I ain't never been at a funeral. Never been at a funeral and heard somebody say, I love you too, baby. No. Tell people you love them now. Very, 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 very important because guess what? They can't hear you.
And folks, speaking of love, that's another way. A pre-need is another way to show love because you are showing your family that you love them so much that you don't want them to have to worry about that. It's bad enough that you're gone and they're grieving, but you gave them one less thing to worry about. And if you are the type of person that does that anyway, this would just fall in line with that. So
Mm-hmm.
that's another reason why you want to do that. I mean, we know our kids, we know our siblings, our other relatives that we've left behind, and it's not that they aren't responsible enough to do it. They just may not be able to handle it while they're grieving. So
If they say something back, this preacher is out. That's what Brooklyn said. Me too. I'm out of here too. Yeah, they're not gonna stay. They're not gonna respond back. Me and Mr. Lewis was doing a funeral one time, and we were closing the casket. You got to be all slow and do it, with respect. And all we heard was, wait, wait, please let me see her. Please, please, please. And we were like, okay. The whole church turned back and looked. So we had to ask the next of kin if it was okay. They said, yeah. So we opened the casket back so that so she could see. And she just was bawling. And we're just like, okay, all right, we gotta go. All right, we gotta go. We go to close it again, and what did she do? She turned around and pushed it back up. We was like, dang, okay. She would not let us close the casket. Why? Because she didn't go see her grandmother when she had the chance to go see her grandmother.
mm-hmm.
And grandmother passed away. She was too busy out there in the streets. So she snotted all over grandma. We was like, oh my
Yeah,
God,
she
this
did.
is bad. Thank goodness we didn't have to show her no more because it was bad. It
Right.
was really, really bad. Really, really bad. So, yeah, tell people you love them.
So yeah, folks, when you have a chance, right? Absolutely. Please. And I at the end of services, I tell people, look, tell somebody you love them, and don't say it like you mean it. You do. You say it because you mean it. Because we don't know when the last time. Uh, this might be that next time. You say, "Oh, I'll
Mm-hmm.
see you next time." This might be the next time. It might be the last time. So, not for them, for you, for anybody else in there. Uh, we always. It's funny to think about like this or odd or what have you. But when you go to a funeral, sometimes the next funeral you go to is of a person you were just at a funeral with.
Mm-hmm.
So think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. The next
Mm-hmm.
funeral you go to, and you said, "Oh, I'll see you next time." It might be their funeral.
Mm-hmm.
They might be at yours.
Yep.
It does happen that way. There are a lot of people who are like, "Damn, I was just at a funeral 2 weeks ago with this fool, and now it's their funeral." Yeah, yeah. What does the releasing of the doves symbolize? Ms. Carla, I'll let you answer that question.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. You on the road. Go ahead.
The releasing of the doves symbolize, well, let me say this first. The doves that are released are trained. So no matter where they're released, they go back home. When you are releasing doves, it is a symbol of one of God's children being released as they have passed away. Their soul has been released from their body. They are going back home. And again, it doesn't matter where you have the doves fly out of, what direction, if you turn them around, or whatever, they know their way back home. They all find their way back home. All of God's children who die in the Lord will find their way back home.
All right. Okay.
Not
So,
bad for somebody that goes to church, right?
so I know out here in San Francisco, we've lost all of our funeral homes, like our Black funeral homes.
Mhm.
Um, growing up, we had Osborne's Funeral Home. If Rhonda's still on here, she could help me out. Osborne's, we had Coleman's, we had Pollard and Sons, we had Lewis and Ribbs, we had
Mhm.
Bayview Mortuary, we had Bryant Mortuary. I hope I didn't miss anybody, but um, it's really, really sad that we don't have any more. I think Bryant's was the last uh, African American owned. Oh yeah, Baby Mortuary. I mentioned that one. Um, Brian Mortuary was the very last one that we had, and now it's going to be like, I don't know if it's going to be like a big apartment building or something, but they moved an old Victorian next to it, and they're going to connect the two. It's just like, wow. Yep, after 65 years, because
Wow.
Rhonda was working at Bryant's. And so we don't have any out here. I don't know what's in the East Bay as far as Black owned. I don't know in the East
We
Bay.
have three. We have three. Well, no, four. We have four in Oakland. Um, we have Foucher's Hudson Funeral Home. We have Thompson's.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's a
Uh,
Thompson.
oh yeah, old man Thompson. He's still at it. Um, and we have
Rhonda said Rose Manor.
we well no in well yeah East Bay, yeah. Uh, Even though that's Contra Costa, but yeah, we have Rose Manor, Miss Lydia. We have Mr. Linwood Lewis,
Mm-hmm.
who is doing McNary,
Well,
and
Fouché Baker's Thompson. Well, Baker is closed, Miss Gloria. I mean,
well,
it's not closed. I'm sorry.
it's
It's
not
it's
black
not
owned.
it's not Black owned anymore.
No,
Baker is not Black owned anymore. I used to
no,
work there.
Baker isn't black owned anymore. So it's in Oakland. It's Foucher's, Thompson, and McNary. Um,
Wow.
CP Bannon is not black owned. CP Bannon is corporate owned. SCI. Of course, Chapel of the Chimes is not us. Um,
What about Fuller's in
and some of
Richmond?
the other smaller ones, but
Oh, Fuller's is
no,
not. Oh,
Fuller's is under the same. It's SCI. It's under the
oh,
same as CP Bannon. Both
oh,
Fullers,
wow,
even the one that closed in Oakland, they're both SCI.
wow.
So yeah, it's very very small, very small black owned funeral homes um, in Oakland. Oh well, there's one more in the East Bay that I forgot about. Harris Funeral Home in Berkeley. For those of you from Oakland who aren't familiar with Harris, Harris is Elihu Harris, former mayor of Oakland. His father was a longtime mortician in Oakland.
Oh, I
And
didn't know they were still open.
yeah, Harris is still open.
Wow. Okay.
Harris Harris is still open. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I would.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're still going strong. Um, they're still doing their thing.
And so, like right now, I don't know if he's watching, but I want to give a huge shout out to Brother Roland, Mr. Roland Wiley.
My big brother Roland.
Brother Roland does an awesome job. I don't know if you guys have ever seen him in action, but he runs an entire funeral by himself from
Yes,
beginning
sir.
to end. And I want to give a huge shout out to Brother Roland Wiley, who is at what is it, Dan Scales at
Yeah,
Alta Vista.
yeah,
He does an
yeah,
awesome job. I mean, I've watched him bring the casket in by himself.
yeah,
There's nobody helping him. He brings the casket in by himself, set it up, make sure it's centered. If there's flowers inside the hearse, he bring that in, set it up. Just gets the family together, get the flowers, make sure the flowers pinned, all of that.
yeah,
Mentioning flowers pinned. Don't get mad if your name is not on the list to get a flower pinned on your shoulder. Don't do that. If your name
yeah,
is not on the list to get a
yeah,
flower pin, don't get mad at me
yeah,
because I didn't have nothing to do with that. I didn't make the list. But Roland does an awesome job from beginning to end. So I just
yeah,
wanted to give a huge shout out to Brother Roland, Mr. Roland Wiley, who does an awesome job doing services for the families.
yeah. Uh, another one of my big brothers who used to do that and was Reverend Roy Northington.
Mm.
He doing. I mean, he and Roland, they work separately, but those two showed me a lot in the business. And hell, they're the reasons I know how to unload caskets by myself now.
Mentioning unload casket. Remember that guy we had to unload that was 350 pounds and it was just me and you?
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, fun times.
Yeah, fun times. We've
Fun
had a
times.
lot of fun times working together. We have seen some crazy stuff. We've had people falling up the stairs trying to help us get caskets in. We've seen some crazy, crazy
And yeah,
stuff.
I got that picture.
Yes. So, one day we pulled up at a in front of
Israelite Baptist Church.
I wasn't gonna say the name of the church,
Oh,
but we
hey.
pulled up at Israelite Baptist Church in Oakland. And as soon as we got out of the car,
Yes,
let me
sir.
see. Let me see here. This is what we saw. Now, hopefully y'all can handle this. This is what we saw when we pulled up to this church. This is what we saw. It's a dead
Ah,
raccoon with two beer cans next to him.
OE.
We could not stop laughing. That was the highlight of that was the highlight. That was the highlight. That was the highlight of the day. Oh my God. Ronnie said
AJ
she would have
Johnson drank himself to
screamed.
death, just like that raccoon.
They made it look like the raccoon was drunk. Oh my God. But that was the highlight of that day,
That raccoon was drunk. Shit. That, that raccoon was up. Oh, Cooney Coon.
Oh my
That
God.
Cooney Coon had a little too much to drink.
That's cold blooded. But
That's that's a
but
that's a
yeah.
damn shame.
So yeah, once again, you guys just tell people you love them. Send flowers to people.
Mhm.
Don't wait till they die to send all them flowers. I hate driving the flower van and it's like 50,000 flowers in there and it ain't even there's no burial. So we gotta drop the flowers off somewhere or take them back to the funeral home and dismantle those things. That's a lot of work. Give people flowers while they can see them, while they can smell them. I'm not going to say what I want to say, but give them flowers
Right.
while they can smell them
So,
and while they can see them.
right.
Don't wait
So,
until they gone.
so people, what I really want you to do, and there are people who are watching this right now, and if they would, please post your number and stuff back up there again. They are insurance agents and specialists. They can assist you if you live in the East Bay or no matter where you live. I don't want to sound like a pastor saying, you know, you don't have to come to my church, but if you live around here and you do not have anything set up, please, at the behest of somebody in the business, please find a funeral home and or funeral homes that you are familiar with. Call them, compare prices,
Mm-hmm.
find one you are comfortable with, and start
Mm-hmm.
that process. The other thing I want to tell you about as far as starting processes and being at need, I can't stress enough that when you're at need, it is needed right away. But there's something else that I want to touch on. Families will pick a funeral home based on that which their family has gone to, and that's cool. But understand that once that funeral home takes your loved one into their care, you are on the clock. That means that if you decide, well, you know what, I'm gonna go to another funeral home, you owe that funeral home that picked your loved one up whatever the price is for their removal. If that's 350, it's 350. If it's 450, okay. But if you decide to go to another funeral home and that other funeral home charges 450, you have just paid $900 in removal fees before you have even started planning your
Mm-hmm.
funeral.
Right.
Go to now. You don't even have to go to the funeral homes anymore. We don't have to knock on the door and go to the funeral home. You can go online, get their price lists, compare their prices, see what you want. There's no shame in having cremations either anymore. That's out the window. This is not 1985 and somebody had to be sick and you didn't have no money and everybody knew it. Doesn't matter. Rich people, billionaires, they get cremated. Doesn't matter. Go sit down, go compare prices, find out who the pre-need person is at that funeral home. And when you want to go forward with that funeral home, talk to that pre-need counselor. They will get you in contact with a insurance company if you don't want to go through somebody here or somebody you may know, and they'll be that third leg for you.
Mm-hmm.
The insurance company will tell you how much you pay monthly. You pay it off, you have the peace of mind, and if and when you pass away, everything is taken care of. I cannot stress enough how important it is to do that. It's very important. It's tantamount to everything that you do that. We go to church, we talk about our soul being saved and cleansed and washed and in God's care. What about your body? What about your body? Because something has to be done to it. We can't just put you up against a tree like Granddaddy and them used to say and let you rot. You either have to be cremated, you can be turned back into a tree if you want to. I don't care. But get that taken care of. It's important.
Yes. Yes. I agree. I totally agree. And y'all quit coming to these funerals singing, I'm going up a yonder. That's not the name of the song.
Well, I'm still trying to figure out where the Jordan is. He stood on the banks of the Jordan
The
and watched us
Jordan.
go home. Now, I done looked in the Bible. I done looked on maps. I ain't seen no damn Jordan. What if I want to go to Jerusalem? Where's the Jordan? And I go tell somebody I want to see the Jordan. They're going
Up
to tell me
to
I sound
yonder.
like one of these Oakland pastors that make flyers and they misspell stuff.
Or my loved one go be looking down, watching over me. Right. Hey, Perkins. And we got Dee
Hey,
Dee on here.
Perk.
Hey, Dee
Big
Dee.
Perk. Hey, Miss Dee Dee. And Perk, it depends on who your loved one is. They might be looking up at you, waiting for you to come see them.
Right. Like at I went to a funeral one time and everybody kept saying, so the guy, he didn't believe in God. He didn't believe in God, but he had this big old funeral at a church. And people kept saying, "Oh, you're gonna see him again one day. You're gonna see him again one
Yeah.
day." And it was like,
Huh.
I ain't going to hell. So we go. You don't know where somebody's going. You don't know where somebody's going. So quit saying that. We'll see you again one day. I don't know where you going. I don't know.
All right. So I'm gonna tell y'all this joke. Some of y'all have heard this. It's not a bad joke. It's not an X-rated joke. So these three men, father, his son, and the father's brother, all decided to go on vacation. And unfortunately, they they died. They got in a car accident. So they went to the gates of heaven. The Lord told them they were in. He said, "There's one rule in heaven: you cannot step on any ducks. There's ducks everywhere. You can't step on them." So they walking streets of gold. The brother, the uncle, the brother of the father, stepped on a duck. Out of nowhere, here comes St. Peter, the ugliest woman they had ever seen. He said, "I told you, one rule is not stepping on a duck. You stepped on a duck, you and this woman are together forever." Walked away. And bound together for all eternity. Father and son looked at each other, said, "Damn," shook their head, and kept going. Next day, son stepped on a duck. Out of nowhere, St. Peter appeared again, the ugliest woman they'd ever seen. "You had one rule. Told you not to step on the duck. You stepped on the duck. You two are bound together for all eternity." St. Peter disappeared. They went on their way. So father said, "I'm not stepping on no duck no matter what." So he shuffled his feet for weeks. Weeks turned into months. He's shuffling his feet. Out of nowhere, the Lord appeared with the most beautiful woman he had ever seen in his life. He said, "This is your husband. Husband, this is your wife." He disappeared. Man was pleased. He walked over to the woman. He was like, "Well, since it's going to be my wife, I'm going to introduce myself." He said, "Hi, my name is John." She said, "Nice to meet you." He said, "You are the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life. How did I get so lucky to be with you?" She said, "I don't know. About an hour ago, I stepped on a duck and now I'm here."
You get on my nerve.
So, brothers, some of y'all don't realize, even in life, nigga, you stepped on a duck. Or your wife might have stepped on a duck. You might want to look in the mirror, brother. She may have stepped on a duck. That's why she don't go nowhere with you. She knows she stepped on the duck.
Oh my God. I can't stand you.
Y'all will remember that. Just don't remember that at a funeral and bust out laughing.
Oh my God. You are too much. Well, we hope that tonight has been very informative for some of you all. And once again, if you need life insurance, there's some information in the comments as well of some people who offer it. And then, like I mentioned before, you have Sheila Tyson, you have Pastor Antoine Miller as well.
Yes.
But please get you some life insurance. If you have a child, go through Gerber. They have a wonderful family plan. I have been on the same family plan since 1993. When I had my daughter, I got a plan through Gerber, and then when I had my son, I added him on. And many of you know I used to be married. When we divorced, I just moved some things around, so the kids, are covered. So, and I'm going to add my grandson on so that he could have it as well. But yes, Gerber is really good for children because, like I said, once they turn 21, the plan that you pick, it doubles. When my son turned 21, it doubled. When my daughter turned 21, the value doubled. And once again, remember, don't take out a loan against those life insurance policies.
Right. Absolutely.
Leave it. Just leave it. So Please get it. Please get it. Miss Gloria said this was great information, and I hope you keep doing this. Thank you, Miss Gloria. Thank you for coming on, and thank you everyone who took out the time to see what we had to say tonight. We'll be on again sometime next month talking about something else, and we may have some guest people on uh, next month. We got to get it in before baseball season, because
Hey, that's a sore subject right now.
oh,
That's
sorry,
that's a sore subject right now. They're locked out right now.
but
They
yeah, but I'm having fun. I'm having fun, um, connecting and talking and all of that. This is very therapeutic for me. So thank you, Mr. Lewis, for being a part.
that's
Yes, I will, Miss Gloria. I definitely. Perk said they gonna be locked out.
hey, see,
Dee
see.
Dee, Dee Dee, you can go back once we go off. You can go back and watch it from the beginning. Miss Eileen said great information. Thank you both. So, well, yeah, once again, you guys, thank you for joining us tonight. I really appreciate being on here, and we're gonna talk about some more stuff,
Well,
some more topics, um, in the near future. We'll do this once a month for now.
right. One thing that did come to mind in terms of funerals and the like. I know that especially as Black folk, we like to go to the funeral homes that we have been going to, and believe me, we appreciate your business and we thank you for supporting us and keeping us open, especially as Black funeral homes. But
You frozen. He froze up, y'all. He froze up. I don't know what happened to him. Mr. Lewis has a bad connection and he is frozen. So, what we're going to
ah,
do. Oh, there you go.
okay. So, just real quick, what I was saying is, I know you may love to go to Black funeral homes, and that's fine. But I really want you to compare and contrast. Just don't be afraid to look at all funeral homes. Whatever funeral home is affordable to you, you can go there. It's not, you know, it's just. I mean, we love your business, but I really want you to be able to afford what you're doing and know that you made the right choice. So please compare, contrast, do those things that you're supposed to do. Do it like you do when you're shopping for clothes and you're looking for bargains and deals. Do the same thing. Do the exact same thing. Go where you're comfortable and then go with that.
And if y'all ever need somebody to do the makeup of y'all loved one, call Maurice. Maurice is the
Yes.
bomb. Okay, we could hook y'all up. He did my mama. He did a
Doctor,
great job. Okay,
Doctor
Maurice
Carter,
is the Maurice Carter is the bomb. Okay,
Doctor, Doctor Carter. Yes, he is. And
yeah.
Ms. Carla, thank you for this opportunity. I greatly appreciate it. Uh, to all of you people out there, I thank you for tuning in. Again, make sure, and I mean tonight, make sure that you tell somebody you love them. And don't say it like you mean it, say it because you mean it, because it really could be the last time. And brothers and sisters, avoid stepping on ducks, because you may have already stepped on one. Just look to your left when you go to sleep tonight, and you'll know why you stepped on a duck.
We love y'all. We do. We love y'all. Yes, yes, yes. We love
Peace.
y'all very much. All right. So good night and may God bless each and every one of you.